Okay, so we will try to do a short little video to try to figure out this ice cotton over here. So I just wanted to compare it to a couple of different things, different thicknesses and whatnot, just to kind of get an idea of how it compares to different wraps. So I have a whole bunch of different ones on my lap, and we'll just kind of compare it to everything over here. So I just put this down. This is an Oscha Koi Aurora, and it's about 50-50 lamb's wool and cotton. So as you can tell, this one's kind of thick in just the way that it handles, scrunching it up like that, and so you can kind of see the texture as I'm moving it around. So if I put this right next to it, you can maybe from the video tell how much it's a lot thinner, and it has just a nicer drape in general. If I put it in my hand, it's a lot smaller. And as far as the texture, the regular cotton side is really soft, and it has a little bit more grip to it. And then the other side, the cotton fibers, the ice cotton fibers, really, once it's been washed and worn, they haven't really fluffed up like the normal cotton does. So it's got this kind of slick, almost polyester plasticky feel to it that's really interesting on the skin. So usually when I wrap, I like to have this on the outside because it seems to have a little bit more grip, and this on the inside because it feels cooler in Texas heat to have it against your skin. So then to bring out a couple more, so this is the new double thick Gira, and if you kind of bunch this up, you can see that this is pretty thick and heavy in hand, and when I pick this up, it feels kind of heavy for the thickness of it. I think the ice cotton is just really dense, so even though it feels thick, this just is a lot thinner and moldable in hand, when this one just feels kind of big and clunky compared to the Ren. And then if we take the next one, this one is a tri-blend Oscha Koi. It is 20% linen, 30% cotton, 50% hemp. And out of all the wraps that I have, I feel like this one feels the closest. Let me see. So the weave, you can see that this looks very similar to this. This one's maybe a little bit tighter weave. And then the so-called plasticky side, is kind of similar to the wrong side of over here. So out of the wraps that I own, this is closest to this. They kind of have a similar feel in hand, similar drape. This one's pretty well broken in. It was pretty prickly when I got it, but it's well worn in. So this and the Ren is heavier in my hand. When I pick it up like this feels lighter and fluffier. But as far as comfort, they both kind of feel the same comfort level. And if we keep going in my stack over here, this is Oscha Okinami Sia. So this one is 25% silk and then cotton. This one's about the same thickness when I scrunch it up in my hand like this. They kind of have, this one feels a little, it's got more of a bulkier drape to it, even though this one's been well broken in compared to this one. This one feels very thin and slick. So like if I hold it up to the light, you can see my finger through there. And let's see, if I hold the Sia, which is also a fairly thin wrap, I guess you can kind of see through this one too, and my finger over there. So these ones kind of similar weight as far as thickness, if you're trying to figure out what it's close to. Then I have some things that are a little bit bulkier. This one's Oscha Orion Lumina. So if you compare these two, the Lumina is quite a lot thicker and bulkier compared to this one. Again, if I do scrunch this one in my hand, and then if I scrunch this one, this one is thicker in my hand. And it's also got a much bulkier, the way that it drapes is a lot bulkier. See how it kind of bends And in the same way, if I take this one in my hand, it just kind of scrunches up into this tiny little ball, whereas this one just wants to be more heavier fabric. Then I've got two more, comparing it to some woven wings. Let's do Greenfinch first. So this is Linen Blend Greenfinch. Okay, Isla wants to do some mint juice over there. So compared to these two, when I scrunch them up, this one feels thicker when you just hold it in between your fingers like this, but the fiber is kind of compressed down, so when I scrunch it up, it's about the same thickness as this one. But this one just feels much more cushy as this one. When I hold this in between my hands, it doesn't really compress. It kind of is what it is as far as the thickness. You can't squeeze it down. And this one, and then the merino over the rainbow, these ones just feel fluffy in my hand, much fluffier. So as far as softness, the cotton side is pretty soft. My linen one is fairly well broken in, so this one feels kind of nice and soft and fluffy, super comfortable. Also, you can tell just the way that it scrunches up. It's also kind of just thicker in the way that it scrunches up. So even though it scrunches down smaller like this, it's still got more bulk to it when I do it like this. And then the same thing kind of goes for over the rainbow. Obviously, this is a much heavier duty wrap, much thicker. Even if you just look at here, let me grab the edges just a second. So if you look at the thickness over here, you can tell how thick the over the rainbow is compared to the Ice Cotton Mini Ren Nero. So again, this one much more thicker, fluffier, super cushy on the shoulders, and this one much more thinner with just a nicer drape on it, I guess. And as far as comfort, super comfortable on the shoulders. I don't know how it's possible for something to be this thin and just slick in my hand, but when you put it on, it seems to just distribute the weight amazingly. And even with my 4-year-old, she's very comfortable on my back in this one. So we really love this new wrap that we got.